Well, it's still Black History Month. Yes, it's not a thing here in Nigeria, but it ripples across the world, really. And today we're having a very important conversation on championing anti-racism initiatives and fostering inclusion. We're joined on the show by Akinmolayan. She's the founder of AmEnough Society and an addiction nurse clinician with Vancouver Coastal Health and Fraser Health Authority. Of course, she joins us from Canada. Good morning, Anna. You're welcome to the Morning Brief.
Hi there. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
I know you've had to stay up, so thank you. I imagine a lot of coffee will help at this point. But let's talk about the work you're doing, particularly with the context of Black History Month. There was Super Bowl and, the performance, which had a very deep sense, or at least a deep connotation of some of the struggles of Africans, African Americans in America and in other parts of the world. And just recently, because seeing that you're an addiction nurse, I've been seeing Nigerians in Canada, videos of Nigerians who are on the streets, some of them said to be doing drugs as a result of drug abuse and issues like that. It's a lot to condense, but tell us where you play in the midst of all of this.
Okay, so my organization, we support the mental health of migrants and refugees. And we started by my deep commitment to helping migrants, refugees and newcomers. So where do we come in? As a nurse, I work closely with these individuals, and I've seen how they struggle to navigate here in Canada. And we thought about how best we could support, our people to navigate this by providing enough resources, information, and direct support, actually. And you're right, I've seen those videos as well. And I feel that comes in with a lot of challenges that these individuals face on arriving here in Canada. So a lot of people coming with high expectations of the country, and they come over here and they met with disappointment. From my impression of those who end up struggling with addiction, it's kind of based on the systematic issues that they might have faced without the right support. And most people who struggle with addictions, who are migrants or refugees or newcomers, are likely those who are homeless. So when you're homeless, you are at risk of being exposed to things like that. So yeah, in a nutshell.
And this is a very important conversation. So I'll mention names. Some of the videos, you had Simi in one of the videos, Peter in another video, then Marcel. Yeah. For you to migrate to Canada, at least from this part of the world, you must have some considerable means, right? Because it's not cheap to relocate in that sense. You're converting naira to dollars, and you need to have a lot of it. Some of them from well-to-do families, I must say, and then they go to Canada for different reasons. They find themselves on the streets. So you can hear Marcel speaking about his challenge with sickle cell. He had some injury on his leg. You hear Simi also speak. Peter also speak. Yes, you say that there are systemic issues, but what more can we do as a people, as a society, to protect our own and ensure that our very best here do not become the very worst there? They still remain the very best.
Yes, I know people have to demonstrate some kind of funds or resources that they could come and live here and thrive here, but Canada isn't what a lot of people think it is. Yes, those Simi and the rest, they might have coming from a well-to-do family, but the challenges that a lot of people face here are the inequalities in health. And there's discrimination in employment, and also the struggles in education as well. So what can people do? So organizations like ourselves, we're basically raising awareness to help people understand what's available for them here in Canada to help them thrive. And those that are at risk, we are identifying them and also collaborating and working with other organizations to ensure that these people are included. Information aren't really. So I give you an instance. I'm part of like a Nigerian WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
And it's so funny how people go on a WhatsApp group to ask like questions that are not meant to be in a group. I give you an instance. There was a mom who said her child was sick, had temperature, had not been eating for days, and she came on this group and was asking if someone had a particular kind of medication sold in Nigeria. But you would think that there is awareness of where to get information and how to get support, but you would be surprised that people don't have that. And that's where organizations like ours come in supporting, migrants and refugees and newcomers with like information on how to get support. Things are quite expensive here. I don't think people have a lot of information as, it's said online.
Yeah.
Healthcare is expensive, even if you're from a well-to-do family. When you think about the conversion rate, it could be quite expensive.
Absolutely.
And there's so many insecurities here. There's food insecurity, there's housing insecurities. People struggle to get jobs due to like the systematic issues when it comes to like credential recognition. So there's so many factors here that we as an organization look at, and we also work with other organizations to ensure that, things like that don't happen to people coming into the country.
And I think it would be great to hear about your successes, because this is a tough one. You're almost swimming against the tide. It's like, it's not even David against Goliath. It's almost like an ant against Goliath, because there's a system that has been built for years. There's a government backing it. There's also the usual rhetorics. Now, Canada is having its own fair share of battle with the US. There had to be a lot of cuts in Canada itself. So everybody's just looking inwards and saying, well, we first before others. But help us understand the psyche of migrants, right? There's this saying where I'm from that if you're not able to progress in your journey, the natural thing to do is go back to where you're coming from, right? It's a saying in Yoruba. And I've seen a lot of people comment under those videos that come back home. We're ready to take care of you at home. Why can't you just come back home? So why is it usually tough for those who are going through those challenges, seeing that it looks like the system is obviously against you, to say, you know what, I'm coming back home. At least I'm sure at home, at all, like bad pass, as they say.
I wouldn't say the system is totally against people, to be honest. I just feel like it's kind of like down to knowing what resources are available for you. And know a lot of people understand that there are resources and there's support available. So there are three key things that we focus on as an organization. We focus on education, advocacy, and direct support. So we are educating people on like the reality and what's there and how to access this support. And then we're also advocating together with other organizations. We're advocating for like better policy, not just improvement of the policy that's on there, but making it culturally appropriate. And I think that's what makes us different, because we're very culturally mindful about the things that we do and how people think and how people understand what the culture here in Canada is about. And then we also provide like direct support. So when people that access our services, we provide direct support. We try to understand where they're coming from as Nigerians, for instance.
I totally understand, Anna, but what I'm trying to say is for a lot of people, going back home is a no-no. It's not on the table. When others see that this is actually a better option for you because maybe the system has tried its best in that sense and you're just not fitting in. So I'm asking that, why is it really tough for some people to say, you know, I'm going back home?
But it's because Nigerians don't give up. Like they
Right?
just don't give up. Like
It's almost like a strength and a
very,
weakness.
we are a very resilient
Right.
community, if I'm being honest with you. Like for instance, I left Nigeria when I was 16, 17 to the UK, and then I studied there, and then I moved here about 5 years ago. And I also did face some like systematic issues, and I could have just packed my bag and like, I'm going back to London. This
Yeah.
makes no sense. But as a Nigerian, and I've worked with loads of Nigerians, and I've supported a lot of Nigerians, and I know we don't give up easily. Yes, going back to Nigeria, people could sense that as a failure, and Nigerians are not quick to like, accept defeat. So going back to Nigeria might not be the first solution. So I'm just trying to encourage a lot of people out there, but rather like seek help.
All right.
Seek help.
And we
And
have to anchor at this point, but quite vital
okay,
point you've made. And thank you for the great work you're doing. Thank you for staying
you're
up to have
welcome.
this important conversation. And we're absolutely here to support you and others. We've been speaking with Akinmolayan, founder, AmEnough Society, addiction nurse, clinician with Vancouver Coastal Health, and obviously Nigerian who never gives up. Thank you, Anna. Wish you the very best.
Thank you too. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We'll take a quick break now. When we return, we have one more leg on the show. So stay with us. We'll be right back.